All right, dudes and lady dudes. Forgive me, I'm a little sick this year. I have a bit of a head cold thing going around here in Michigan. But it was Christmas time, and a friend of mine had come across a cool part that he wanted, a muzzle device, kind of based on the, what are they? I'll have to put it up on the screen. The something tech, the little AK suppressor, muzzle brake, flash diverter. It's supposed to be like a flash hider, blast diverter. The real one has like a layer of like sort of expanded metal washers inside of it to divert flash. And it's a pretty basic device, but it's like super Russian, very cool looking. Everybody wants them. Super expensive nowadays. But Palmetto is making these cool ones. So these type of guys here, you may have seen these, right? So I ordered one for myself. And I ordered one for a buddy for a Christmas present. One came in a package. The other one came looking like it had been returned or fresh off the factory floor. Haven't even opened it yet. And right off rip was super disappointed because look at that thing. It is all dinged the fuck up. It looks like these things have been knocking against each other in a bin somewhere. And then two, my buddy had done a little diving into these previous to their arrival as to how legit they were, because we couldn't find anything. So we're trying to save you guys some money here. So what this is supposed to be is essentially this part here on the real device is similar to a muzzle brake with some baffles inside, holes drilled to let the expanding gases out inside of this device, which would be a little bit more hollowed out inside. And then this back section where it's a little wider, which probably would have had a larger thread base, was stacked full of like what looks like expanded corrugated metal. I'll put that up on the screen. Cut in a small washer just so your bullet could pass through the middle, right? And then obviously the flash would have been diverted at the end, sort of like a flow through high flow suppressor type of thing. And as you can see from Palmetto here, this is nothing. What the fuck is this? Now mind you, this goes all the way up into the device and meets the end there. So these holes on this device and this empty space inside this device do absolutely nothing. This thing is fake. This is $100 and some odd. We got it on sale for Christmas. I believe it was like $109. So $109, roughly, what is that? 6-inch barrel extension. I mean, Palmetto, you can take them or leave them. Palmetto does many great things. Some of the great things that Palmetto does, I think, is bringing the 2A product to people in a generalized way, affordable, right? But there's that old saying, you get what you pay for. And I think it's even worse than that with Palmetto sometimes, because as I continue to try to think to myself, as Palmetto moves forward, especially like in the AK world, being a fan of AKs, I keep trying to think to myself like, oh, look, here's this company and they're doing some good. And it's like, no, this is just a completely dishonest business practice. This is lying to your customer. Why would you even go as far as to make this device and put out no information on it? Like if you put this out and said, hey, this is a kit for you to go home and drill, right? And then, fill with, like some copper, scrubby stuff, like what do they call it, chore, or steel, steel wool, but you don't want to use steel wool because it's going to rot and rust. But if you used like a stainless steel wool, I don't know if that's the thing that's made or something, but some sort of material to fill that to alleviate some flash or something. If this was a kit, advertised as a kit to complete yourself because they wanted to avoid any sort of dealings with the ATF and it potentially being like an NFA item or close to an NFA item or any sort of like restrictions. They just wanted to stay as far away from that red tape as possible. I can understand that. I can understand what was happening at the table in the boardroom when somebody said that. But when you tried to eventually greenlight a product that looked like this and was going to come out for that kind of money with no explanation, and you're selling this, and there's people out there that have this assembled and have never taken it apart and are putting this crap on their gun thinking that it's supposed to do something. And I mean, mind you, this thing probably, I have to get a scale out. This is heavy as shit. This probably weighs 1.5 pounds. They're putting 1.5 pound barrel extension on the end of their gun for $109. This is a faux, whatever, at best. A faux muzzle brake, a faux blast diverter. Using the word faux on it would have been acceptable. But other than that, this is a dishonest business practice. It's a lie. It's false advertising. And this company just continues to just fucking piss me off downright with that shit. You know, because you just can't do that, man. You just can't do that. This is just shit. This is just shit. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to continue to make some videos on this because I want it to be cool. But it's never going to be as cool as it should be because, first of all, the wall thickness on this, right? The wall thickness on this should have been trimmed way the hell down. The reason this device was shaped this way in the first place was this section here is what would have held your section of baffles. Not really baffles. Like I said, if you understood how these things look, they look like lock washers, kind of how they would sit on each other in a pile, leaving a lot of separated space between each other. So that's where your flash would have been dissipated and caught, is in all of that wiry material, right? And it's a pretty good idea for some cheap stuff to make, which is, you know, Soviet type stuff, right? So it's a solution to a problem in a really affordable way. But this wall thickness would have been trimmed down because this is all evenly cut straight down on the inside. So if you put them in there, they would drop all the way down. You know, any sort of stuff would drop all the way down to the ends of your holes. But that's where those would have stacked up, right? So you would have had, you know, one bore and then a larger bore, you know, and this is just machined it properly, even if it was a kit. So if this was a kit that they had intended for you to finish and the actual device style, then it's a failure there too. The only thing, like I said, the only saving grace that you could do with this kit is, like I said, you could drill holes or cut baffles into this, or even potentially just cut this off completely, and then this will act like a blast can at best, and that's all you're going to get out of it is a blast can. So yeah, Merry Christmas. Thanks a lot, Palmetto State Armory. Fuck you guys. All right, dudes. I hope you guys have a happy holiday, happier than I'm having, and I hope you all feel better. I hope you all stay away from the heebie-jeebies. But yeah, God bless, and stay up, take care of each other, and I'll catch you on the next one.